We're following a major development in the first terrorism trial here in California. A father and son duo from Lodi arrested and charged. This was in 2006. Hamid Hayat was convicted of providing material support to terrorists. Now, prosecutors say he spent time at an al-Qaeda training camp in Pakistan. His father, Mark Reichel, was also charged with giving false statements to the FBI, but his trial ended in a hung jury. So fast forward to today, a federal judge has recommended vacating Hamid's conviction after years of appeals, saying he did not get a fair trial. So we're going to break this down. Joining me now is attorney Mark Reichel, a local attorney representing a lot of high-profile cases here in the area. You have some ties to this case because you were also expert witness. You were asked to represent one of the defendants and also served as a consultant. So take me through this judge's recommendation and why this was decided.
Well, the judge looked at the Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution, which says every single person, no matter what the charge is, how serious it is, no matter how much maybe public hatred there is toward the person, they really do get the best representation possible. That's what the Constitution requires. As the trial developed, it became kind of clear, I think, at the trial level, that that wasn't going on. The attorney that had it was rather inexperienced. And so as a result, there was a conviction. I think the judge probably should have stopped that trial. The prosecution probably should have got involved and worried that, hey, we can't defend this conviction later on. Very high profile. There were press conferences every day, just about every day, by the Attorney General, by President Bush at the time. There were press conferences about this case. And nevertheless, he was convicted. It's been in appeal status for 12 years now. And finally, after a long evidentiary hearing in which I testified as well, this magistrate said she recommends absolutely that the conviction be vacated and he be set free. A federal judge who heard the trial now, he'll take a look at that and determine whether he agrees with that. Each party has about 30 days now to get their briefs on and say, hey, we don't agree or we do agree, and then we sit and wait.
So you talked about the press conferences being held every day. You even mentioned President Bush. This was in the height after 9/11, 2006, so there was a lot of focus on terrorism cases.
Well, yes, in this case, the facts were that he allegedly had bragged that he was going to go to Pakistan, train at one of these terrorist training camps, which was really a concern at the time, and he was going to come back and, I think, swear to kill Americans. These were the allegations, so he went over there. The FBI was still talking to him through an informant while he was in Pakistan. As soon as he came back in 2005, they arrested him and then interviewed him, and he made a lot of admissions where he said, I had done this. But of course, that was subject to a lot of questions about whether or not he was just bragging and not telling the truth.
So talk about the timeline now. What happens next?
What happens next is this federal judge gets this written recommendation by a judge he appointed to hear all of this. She said vacate the conviction. He gets the pleadings from both parties. Probably takes about a month to decide, and then decides whether or not to vacate it or not. If he vacates it, they'll have to either retry him or release him.
So while this is happening, he still stays in jail?
He's still at a federal correction center in Phoenix, at a high security place.
Okay, so we did get a statement too from the U.S. Attorney's Office. I want to read that to you now. It says in part, we are reviewing the magistrate judge's ruling. It has consistently been our position that Mr. Hayat received effective representation at trial and that his conviction by a jury subsequently affirmed by the Ninth Circuit is completely valid. But as you said, Mark, this is all on the grounds of violation of the Sixth Amendment.
This is actually new evidence that's been heard, by the way.
All right, Mark Reichel, we appreciate your time as always and your expertise. You always break it down for us and make us a little smarter.
Glad to be here.